Have you ever felt that awkward silence creeping in during a conversation? You're talking to someone new, the energy is good, you exchange names, maybe talk about work or school, and then suddenly your mind goes blank. Nothing. No ideas, no questions, no stories, just silence. Most people think great conversationalists are born that way. They believe some people simply have the gift of talking endlessly and naturally. But that's not true. The truth is this. You don't run out of things to say because you lack ideas. You run out of things to say because you lack structure. Conversation is not magic. It's not luck. It's a skill. And like any skill, once you understand the system behind it, you can do it anytime, anywhere, with anyone. In this guide, you'll learn how to never run out of things to say again, whether you're at a party, on a date, in a meeting, networking, or making new friends. Let's begin. Part 1. The real reason you go blank. Before we fix the problem, we need to understand it. When people say, "I don't know what to say," what they really mean is, "I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing. I don't know what's interesting enough. I feel pressure to perform. I'm overthinking." Your brain doesn't actually go empty, it goes into self-monitoring mode. Instead of thinking about the other person, you start thinking about yourself. Do I sound stupid? Is this boring? What if they don't care? Why is it quiet? And the moment you shift your focus inward, creativity shuts down. Great conversationalists don't have more ideas, they have less fear. So the first rule of never running out of things to say is this: shift from performance to curiosity. Stop trying to impress, start trying to understand. Curiosity creates endless conversation. Part 2. The golden rule. Follow the thread. Every conversation contains threads. A thread is any detail the other person mentions. For example, "I just got back from Italy." There are at least 10 possible threads here. Why Italy? First time? Favorite city? Best food? What surprised you? Who did you go with? Would you live there? Funny travel story? What was different from your country? Any culture shock? Most people hear Italy and respond with, "Oh, nice," and then silence. Great conversationalists pull the thread. They grab one detail and go deeper. That's it. Conversation isn't about constantly changing topics, it's about exploring the current one. If someone says, "I started a new job," don't switch topics. Ask, "What made you choose it? What's the biggest difference from your old job? What's been the hardest part? What surprised you?" Each answer creates more threads. If you follow threads, you will never run out of things to say, because every answer contains more material. Part 3. The Ford technique. When you truly don't know where to start, use structure. One classic conversational framework is Ford: family, occupation, recreation, dreams. These 4 areas cover most of human life. Family. Do you have siblings? Are you close with your family? Where did you grow up? Occupation. What do you do? How did you get into that? What do you enjoy about it? Recreation. What do you like to do outside work? Any hobbies? What do you do to relax? Dreams. If money didn't matter, what would you do? Any goals you're working towards? Where do you see yourself in a few years? These categories alone can carry hours of conversation, not because the questions are magical, but because people love talking about their lives when someone is genuinely interested. Part 4. The power of follow-up questions. The secret to flowing conversation isn't asking more questions, it's asking better follow-ups. Here's the difference. Basic. What do you do? Better. What got you into that? Even better. What's something most people misunderstand about your job? Follow-ups show that you're listening, and when someone feels heard, they expand. Imagine this exchange. Person: "I like photography." Weak response: "Oh, cool." Strong response: "What do you like photographing most?" Even stronger:
What made you fall in love with photography in the first place? Now you've moved from surface level to emotional depth. Depth creates engagement, and engagement keeps conversation alive. Part 6. The Story Bank Strategy. One powerful way to never run out of things to say is to build a mental story bank. Your life is full of stories. Embarrassing moments, travel experiences, lessons learned, funny misunderstandings, childhood memories, failures, wins, weird situations. Most people forget them. Start noticing your stories. Ask yourself, what's a time I felt proud? What's a time I failed? What's something weird that happened recently? What's a small moment that changed my perspective? You don't need dramatic stories. Small, relatable stories are powerful. For example, the time you got lost in your own city, the awkward Zoom call mishap, the time you tried cooking something new and failed. Stories give people something to react to. They spark laughter, emotion, shared experiences. And once stories enter a conversation, momentum builds naturally. Part 7. Use the environment. You are never in a blank space. There is always something around you. Use it. At a cafe. Have you tried anything good here? Do you usually work in cafes? At an event. How do you know the host? What made you decide to come tonight? At a conference. Which talk did you like most? What are you hoping to learn here? The environment is free conversation material. You don't need creativity, just awareness. Part 8. Master observational comments. Statements can be just as powerful as questions. Instead of always asking, observe. I feel like this place is way busier than usual. That speaker had so much energy. You seem really passionate when you talk about that. Observations invite responses. They create openings. They show presence. And presence makes conversation feel natural.
Part 9. Embrace silence. Here's a truth most people don't realize. Silence isn't failure. Silence only feels awkward because you label it that way. Confident people allow pauses. They think. They breathe. They don't rush to fill every second. When you stop fearing silence, your brain relaxes, and relaxed brains think better. Sometimes the best conversational move is simply smiling and saying, "Let me think about that for a second." That small pause often leads to a more meaningful answer. Part 10. Improve your input. If you feel like you have nothing to talk about, ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind? If you consume books, podcasts, articles, documentaries, conversations, experiences, you will naturally have more ideas. Curiosity fuels conversation. For example, you might reference an idea from a book like Atomic Habits, a concept from The Tim Ferriss Show, a documentary you watched on Netflix. You don't need to be an expert. Just being exposed to ideas gives you conversational material. Part 11. Learn to pivot smoothly. Sometimes a topic dies. That's normal. The key is smooth transitions. Use bridges like, "That reminds me." Speaking of that, on a totally different note. This might be random, but conversation isn't a straight line. It's a web. You can always connect something to something else. Part 12. Ask better questions. If you want richer conversations, avoid yes or no questions. Instead of, "Did you like it?" ask, "What did you like most about it?" Instead of, "Was it hard?" ask, "What was the hardest part?" Instead of, "Was it fun?" ask, "What made it fun?" Open-ended questions keep dialogue alive. Closed questions end it. Part 14. Active listening. People can feel when you're waiting to speak. Active listening means eye contact, nodding, short affirmations, and referencing what they said earlier. For example, earlier you mentioned you wanted to move cities. What's pushing that decision? That shows memory, and memory creates connection. When someone feels understood, they give you more to work with. Part 15. Develop emotional vocabulary.
Many conversations stay shallow because people describe everything as good, fine, okay. Expand your emotional vocabulary. Excited, nervous, overwhelmed, relieved, curious, frustrated, inspired, grateful. Instead of, "My week was good," try, "My week was chaotic but weirdly exciting." Specificity creates engagement. Part 16. Build confidence through reps. The only way to get better at conversation is to practice. Talk to baristas, coworkers, classmates, Uber drivers, gym members, neighbors. Short conversations count. Every interaction is a rep. You don't need to be perfect, you just need exposure. Over time, your brain stops freezing because it recognizes the situation as safe. Part 17. Stop trying to be interesting. This might surprise you. The goal isn't to be interesting. The goal is to be interested. When you're deeply curious about someone, you lean in, you ask, you explore, you react. And ironically, that makes you interesting because people remember how you made them feel, not how impressive your stories were. Part 18. When you truly go blank. It will happen sometimes. Here's what to say. "That's interesting. Tell me more." "How did that make you feel?" "What happened next?" "I've never thought about it that way." These small prompts reopen the door. You don't need genius lines, just simple curiosity. Part 19. Deep versus light conversations. Not every conversation needs depth. Sometimes light is better. Light topics are food, travel, hobbies, entertainment, funny daily moments. Deeper topics are values, fear, goals, identity, life philosophy. Learn to read the room. Some people want light. Some people want depth. Adapt. Part 20. Energy matters more than words. You can say simple things with great energy and it feels engaging. You can say profound things with low energy and it feels boring. Smile. Use tone variation. Show emotion. If you're creating voice AI content, remember pacing, emphasis, pauses, warmth. Delivery transforms ordinary words into engaging communication. Part 21. The ultimate mind shift. Here is the biggest secret of all. Conversation is not about saying things, it's about creating shared experience. When you stop asking, "What should I say?" and start asking, "What can we explore together?" everything changes. Curiosity replaces anxiety, exploration replaces performance, and flow replaces fear. Final thoughts. You will never truly run out of things to say, because people are infinite, experiences are infinite, questions are infinite, stories are infinite. The only thing that stops conversation is fear. So the next time silence appears, don't panic. Pull a thread. Ask a deeper question. Share a small story. Make an observation, or simply smile and stay present. Conversation isn't about perfection. It's about connection. And connection begins the moment you decide to care more about understanding than impressing. Once you master that, you will never run out of things to say again.